In 2013, an automotive company decided to make only 5 units of a car that are worth $4.5 million each. This supercar can reach a max speed of 221 miles per hour and goes from 0 to 60 in only 2.8 seconds. This car is the Lamborghini Veneno, and this is the story of the company's founder, Ferruccio Lamborghini. Hey everyone, and welcome to Booked, where we inspire others with inspiring stories. In today's video, we are going to go over the success story of Lamborghini and talk about its founder, Ferruccio Lamborghini. So make sure to watch this video till the end, because we're going to share with you some very interesting books about Lamborghini that are definitely worth reading. But before getting to the middle of today's video, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We are living in the age of speed. The amount of progress that humanity has reached over this relatively short period of time allowed us as individuals to adopt a new kind of normal. Nowadays, it became normal to hear about new inventions that would allow our civilization to reach new heights. And we even get bothered by the slightest seconds that a text message may take to be received by someone who lives on the other side of the globe. We adopted to the fast-paced life, and to us this is completely normal. Life is fast. But every now and then comes a man who pushes us to stop what we're doing for a second and simply rethink about what we have just come across. These are the men who, every once in a while, prove to us that the norms that we've adopted should not be the default standard. And one of these men is the one and only Ferruccio Lamborghini. Ferruccio brought a new car brand to the automotive world, and what follows is the success story of this inspiring giant. Roman origins. Italy, where one of the greatest civilizations once emerged with the ambition to conquer the world, and where millions of visitors pour each year to satisfy their eyes with some magnificent Renaissance beauty and enjoy one of the greatest meals on earth. But Italy is known for much more than that. It is home to some of the greatest sports car brands such as Ferrari, Maserati, and the famous Lamborghini. But what about the owner of Lamborghini? Just as his brand, Ferruccio Lamborghini was born in Italy, more specifically in Renazzo, in the province of Ferrara in the Emilia-Romagna region of northern Italy. Ferruccio was born on the 28th of April 1916 to Antonio and Evelina Lamborghini, who grew grapes to make wine for a living. Ferruccio had an interest for farming, but he was not inclined to the farming lifestyle itself. He rather focused on the farming machinery and was very fond of mechanics. As a result, he studied at the Fratellatria Technical Institute and later on joined a blacksmith and learned the secrets of ironworking with him. As he grew up, Ferruccio found his true passion. He knew that he had what it takes to get into the automobile world and make a fortune out of it. But in 1940, Ferruccio was drafted into the IRAF, an abbreviation for the Italian Royal Air Force. He served as a mechanic at the Italian garrison of Rhodes and became the supervisor of the vehicle maintenance unit. When the island was captured by Britain, Ferruccio was taken as a prisoner. Surprisingly, his mechanical skills allowed him to have a spot with the Allies' forces as he repaired their broken vehicles. 1 year later, Lamborghini managed to get back to Italy, where he decided to open a garage in Pieve di Cento. Ferruccio was not your typical mechanic either. He once decided to modify an old Fiat Topolino in his free time to turn it into a 750cc open-top two-seater. Lamborghini afterwards decided to enter the 1948 Mile Miglia, but his participation ended when he ran into the side of a restaurant. And as any other man, Ferruccio afterwards decided to marry and have his own family. But to Ferruccio's misfortune, his wife died while giving birth to their first child, Tonina. Money engines. A couple of years after the end of the Second World War, Ferruccio realized something that represented the trigger idea of a fascinating butterfly effect. He somehow projected himself into the future through connecting the dots, recognizing the patterns, and knew that among all this post-war chaos, something revolutionary has emerged. Industrial revolution in the agricultural field is taking new shape in Italy, and it's growing more and more every day. More importantly, he knew that he had to ride this wave, especially when his father, the very same man who wanted him to adopt farming in the first place, called him saying he needs a new tractor. And by using parts from military vehicle engines, Ferruccio began working on his own kind of tractor, the Carroccia. And since petrol was really pricey at that time in Italy, he made the engines work with diesel through implementing a fuel atomizer that he created. This made the newly made vehicle more economical while maintaining a decent performance. The Carroccia received a lot of attention and was a true success. This allowed Ferruccio to grow his business and found the Lamborghini Trattoria, which was dedicated to manufacturing tractors. Ferruccio's tractor company grew even larger, and this allowed him to buy fast and expensive cars like the Jaguar R-Type Coupe, the Mercedes 300 SL, the Maserati 3500 GT, and even the Ferrari 250 GT. But Ferruccio did not like Ferraris that much. He believed that Ferrari makes expensive cars with cheap clutches. What surprised Ferruccio was that the clutch found on the 250 GT was identical to the one in one of his tractors, which cost only the equivalent of 10 euros today, compared to the 1,000 euros Ferruccio used to pay for Ferrari's clutches. Ferruccio's inconvenience was expressed to the owner of Ferrari, Enzo himself. Enzo replied to Ferruccio that he's just a farmer, and that his cars are among the best in the world. Instead of simply accepting Enzo's reply and moving on with it, Ferruccio told Enzo that he's going to show him how true performance cars are supposed to be made. Full of determination, Ferruccio started his journey of making what he called the perfect car. Ferruccio went on and founded a company under his name. He hired 3 engineers who used to work at Ferrari, and in only 9 months, the Lamborghini 350 GT was completed. With a 5-speed transmission V12 engine and a 4-wheel independent suspension, the 350 GT was considered to be the iconic car that allowed for Automobili Lamborghini to receive the necessary spotlight to keep production. Ferruccio allowed his engineers to experiment with new designs, and this allowed for the creation of what is known as the world's first supercar with a rear mid-engine layout, the Miura P400, which, in case you didn't know, was kept a secret by the engineers from Ferruccio himself since he objected to the idea of making race cars. When Ferruccio found out, he decided to adopt the idea instead of rejecting it. This allowed for the company to flourish even more, and Lamborghini cars were considered to be way better than other race cars simply because they didn't borrow any parts from other manufacturers. Not to mention, the rear mid-engine layout became a standard for high-performance vehicles. Lamborghini is now famous. The Golden Bull Effect. Ferruccio's wealth was increasing day after another. The company became known for its performance vehicles, and the Taurus logo became the symbol of luxurious performance cars. Although Ferruccio's net worth was estimated at 111 million, his success came to an end when the company started going downhill after facing some misfortunate events that were initiated by the cancellation of a South African importer of all his orders from the company. This pushed Ferruccio to sell his tractor company and more than half of his Automobili Lamborghini shares to his Swiss friend, and thus relinquishing control of the company he had founded. Afterwards, Ferruccio decided to retire and sold the remaining shares of the company. Later on, the company was sold for $3 million and went into a series of sales to get acquired at the end by Audi, which managed to save it and bring it to its feet again. Now, Lamborghini is one of the greatest automakers in the world, and in 2019, the company was valued at $11 billion after selling 8,200 cars and making a turnover of $2 billion. Book recommendations. Though little is known about what books Ferruccio might have read during his lifetime, the Booked team selected a couple of books for you so that you can have a better idea about this prodigy. Ferruccio Lamborghini, La Storia Ufficiale by Totino Lamborghini. Although this book is written in Italian, it is without a doubt a real gold mine for everyone who wants to know more about Ferruccio himself. In this book, Ferruccio's son, Totino Lamborghini, narrates the story of his father with an additional emphasis on his innovative side in the mechanical world. So we recommend that you text your Italian friends so that you can sit back and enjoy your friend's narration of this tale full of inspiration. Lamborghini Supercars 50 Years, From the Groundbreaking Miura to Today's Hypercars, by Stuart Codling and with a foreword by Fabio Lamborghini. If you're a fan of speed and you don't want to miss anything that is related to the world of sports cars, then this book is a must. This book focuses on Lamborghini's performance cars and gives extra information about the company's greatest models. Ferruccio's story is not your typical success tale about the boy who grew up in a poor neighborhood, but is rather one about a will of steel and a pride that were forged to come together with a great product. A product that would take the monopoly of these sport luxury cars from Ferrari and show to us that there is still a lot to unravel in the automotive industry.